Alright. I'm going to try to do this. I know it's not the same, but here we go. Jay Baruchel's dorm mate from Undeclared, John Luther, Charlie from Always Sunny, and Hellboy try to save the world from giant monsters. Someone else needs to do this.
We saw Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim. Ow.
We'll fix this.
Kit Coleman, cool.
Brandon Kaiser.
Richard Buckner.
Kristen Clark.
I was a little too energetic there. But anyways, yeah, we saw Pacific Rim. It is the new movie directed by Guillermo del Toro. He did like Hellboy and Pan's Labyrinth and all that stuff. So, yeah, good. It stars Charlie Hunnam, Idris Elba, Charlie Day, Ron Perlman, some other people, and there's not really a very large cast for this. If you think
A lot
about
of people you wouldn't know,
Yeah, a lot
unless
of,
you
like-
saw certain things.
Yeah, people on like some TV shows and stuff, and yeah.
If you've seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you at least know someone, I guess.
I did say Charlie Day already.
Yeah, I mean, like people.
He got a name recognition in the beginning,
Yeah,
so.
I just mean just in general. I mean,
Maybe there's some Horrible Bosses fans, but anyways, I
Idris
don't know why
Elba
anyone
is
would be a
like,
big
yeah,
fan of that
rock and
movie. It was just
roller.
kind of mediocre. But anyways,
I haven't seen it.
we're not talking about Horrible Bosses.
No.
So,
losers.
yeah, Pacific Rim. In case for some reason you
That's a
don't
good
know what
movie.
this is, if you don't know what this is for some reason, and you should know what it is, it's basically giant robots and giant monsters fighting for 2.5 hours. So at least that's the premise for the most part. So, start talking about it. I really kind of think what people are saying, first of all, is pretty correct about this movie. The robot and monster fighting scenes are excellent. They're great, they're fun, they're entertaining. The human stuff, it's kind of there. It's kind of okay. You know, it's not like terrible, it's not completely boring you or anything. I mean, they try to do like some martial arts stuff, and they try to do, some emotions and things. I don't know if they necessarily hit it home in these
They
aspects.
kind of hit like a whole emotional thing because they had to kind of, sync up.
It got me in the
Yeah,
feels,
brains
you know.
everywhere.
I was like, oh, in a few parts.
There were a couple
I
feels
mean,
there.
Yeah, I didn't feel like completely emotionless in those scenes, but
No.
I just kind of felt like they're fine, they're passable. It's not what you go for, though. It's not what you went to this movie
Honestly,
for.
I think I
but
became pretty immune to crying little Asian girls because of Vietnam movies.
really, I didn't think that was a feels moment. But,
No, I mean,
Sad.
more
Ish.
like
Well, I think that was backstory.
I could see it was sad, but
like the family relationships. I'm thinking more.
Oh.
Like,
Family parts. The father
the
son
father,
is like,
son,
The
yeah,
brothers.
I'm gonna
brothers.
stay back.
The
You go
brothers.
do work, son.
because they needed to pick people who had that whole.
and even like
even
the,
the
adoptive
surrogate,
father
the
or
surrogate
whatever,
father-daughter thing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it was a failure. I'm just saying it wasn't the highlight of this movie. Really, the highlight of this movie is the monsters and robots fighting each other. I think it was excellent. We saw it in 3D IMAX, so
At least they were kind of showing that not everyone can do it.
yeah, they
Like,
did a
you
lot of
need
that stuff.
special someones
Um,
to have be on the same wavelength almost.
Yeah,
Almost
there's-
literally.
There's
Yeah.
there's kind of rules for it. That was kind of one of the things about this movie. I don't know if the science of this movie really holds up. If you can throw that out of your brain, though, I think you'll still have a good time, and it doesn't matter. I don't know what anyone else thinks about that. Did you think this is a
Yeah, that-
realistic portrayal of?
no, that
Realistic? No.
I didn't
No,
really care.
that
did
I wasn't
seem
looking
kinda
for
weird, though,
realistic,
the
no.
tandem operator thing or whatever else,
Yeah, I don't know. There's some sketchy. Not. I guess what I'm saying is nothing's explained fully. Like you're kind of like left with like, how does this work again? I don't really know if I buy this, and all sorts of weird things like that. But yeah.
You gotta leave your brain
I
at the
don't
door
know.
for some things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I still think that,
It depends
it
how
doesn't
much
hurt
you
the
leave
movie.
at the door.
I
Like,
mean, when we went to go see this movie, you guys told me it was robots versus monsters. I was like, whoa, brain is gonna be out the
Mech
door.
what did you
Warrior
think it
versus
was?
Godzilla. Yeah.
No offense. but
Exactly,
What did you
right.
think the movie was?
this is
No,
not.
I wasn't quite sure. I knew there was like robots in it, but I thought maybe it was more like Transformers.
No. See,
Oh,
okay,
God,
that's
I
the
was hoping
thing.
it wasn't
That's
Transformers.
the thing. I think this is kind of Transformers for the summer, right? But I don't think that's a justified
How
statement.
would you ever say that?
I think.
Some
no, I mean,
preview called it.
Well, just
people
the
are
big
saying
robots,
yes. It's the
that's
big
all.
robot
I
thing.
don't know.
I don't think that's fair at all. I think this movie doesn't have
Have a whiny bitch like Shia
doesn't,
LaBeouf?
it doesn't offend your intellect. All right, it doesn't
only-
offend you by making you by telling you that
No,
you're stupid
I
as hell,
wasn't
or
offended
you know,
at all.
it isn't
No.
overly stupid. There's nothing like stupid in this movie.
No.
There's just leaps of faith you have to kind of take.
Oh,
you know,
well,
logical leaps you have to take. That
There were
you know,
some
whatever.
stupid things in this movie.
But nothing that was like, I don't know.
Hey!
like,
I know, like, our giant fighting robots aren't working. Let's build a gigantic wall around
Okay,
the
I
room
will say-
and just
Okay,
forget
yeah,
that.
that was pretty
Hey,
stupid.
Rip through that thing in seconds.
okay,
Really?
okay. If we're gonna complain about the wall building stuff, that's kind of a thing right now.
That was retarded.
What did they do in Game of Thrones when shit was going down and coming from the northern section of the continent?
They
what
built-
did they do
They
to
actually
protect
did
themselves?
They
that
built
back
a
then.
magical wall. If
Well,
that
they
was a
built
magical
the wall,
wall.
though, is what I'm saying.
It wasn't even a wall of science with a
And
laser
and they do
guns
the
and
same.
shit.
They do the same thing on Attack on Titan. There's giant, people coming after them. They build a
And
giant
in
wall around the
history-
city. This is a thing that
And
is a
isn't
possible
our
way.
like
way of
government
doing
doing the same thing with our southern border with Mexico?
In history with the
it.
Ottomans.
Are you calling the Mexicans giant monsters?
Are you trying to take Josh's
No.
place in this?
No, I'm really talking about the wall.
Let's get political on the
Uh,
Pac Rim
I just think-
discussion.
okay.
In
there.
history, with the Ottomans,
Yeah.
they built a huge wall.
The Berlin.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with them
Berlin
trying to
Wall?
build a wall. I think the way they did
Well,
it was wrong.
To keep out gigantic monsters. I mean, they had those like plasma guns.
Yeah, that's
Why not set up
stupid.
those like a perimeter on top of the wall to like at least shoot at because they seem to do damage
Right?
as at least a minimal
This is not
defense.
where I wanted this to go.
I'm just saying, just in general, like that, the wall just didn't really work out for me. Like, all right, the giant fighting robots aren't working. Let's build a wall.
It gave.
It's cheaper.
It
It
was
gave
a-
our heroes something to do in the meantime.
It was cheaper. Is
Yeah.
kinda what
And it was an
was.
option. They really, I think, kind of felt like we're fucked.
They-
okay,
Yeah.
they had to think of something, and they,
They
were
went
like,
from
"Well,
30
Because-
to
let's try this
4.
out," and then it didn't work. And
Yeah,
then,
they
did we
were
really
doing
see
so
the wall
well,
after that?
and then they just
We didn't really see the
kinda-
wall after that.
No,
It's-
it's- we kinda
it seemed
gotta go
like,
back to
oh look,
plan-
this didn't work, and then they were just like scrapped it. We're
We
like,
gotta
okay,
go
never
back to
mind.
plan
You
B.
didn't see the wall after that because they just fucking wrecked all the wall. It's like-
Yeah, the
No, I think it was
monster.
supposed to be there were walls being built like all over, like
Yeah,
you
the
know,
rim,
the
yeah.
border,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the border of the Pacific
Yeah,
Ocean,
'cause
like in all
the Ring of Fire. That's the whole Pacific,
Yeah, or whatever,
where
yeah.
all the earthquakes happen, and everything.
Yeah.
Pacific plates and
Yeah.
all that.
Tectonic plates, yeah.
Tectonic plates.
Like I said, we saw it in 3D IMAX. I'm interested to know what you guys thought of the 3D IMAX.
At times, I felt like I was actually getting punched in the chest by a robot a little bit. A very weak robot, but a robot.
Okay.
I thought it was visually pretty stunning, except for you had to look at the screen directly, otherwise things would get really fuzzy.
Oh yeah, I kind of
Really?
tilted my head just a little bit like
Oh my
this.
God.
If you would
this is-
tilt your head,
I noticed I
looked around a
little
really
bit.
fuzzy. It'd be like,
Because sometimes there was just so much going on, I had to.
ugh. Yeah.
I had to get
Okay.
back a little bit.
No, I tilted my head a little bit. I
No.
was like, nope. And I was like,
I need
straight.
to-
Yeah, I
Can't do
did
that.
that
Wow.
too.
So this surprised me because what I think you're talking about is ghosting largely, right? Where you get like double images and
A little
stuff.
bit,
and
Yeah, it
things.
was like just
Okay.
blurry.
I don't. Okay, when we go see a standard movie in 3D, I get this every once in a while, the ghosting and all that kind of stuff, and I see it and I'm like, oh, it kind of sucks, whatever that's there, and all that kind of stuff. But now 2 for 2 movies for me, seeing in 3D IMAX, I didn't really have that. I had it in this movie a little bit on the text on the bottom, but I don't really care about that.
Yeah, that's true.
But everything else I thought was crystal fucking clear. Like this
Well,
is.
you
I
kinda
like
sit
the
still.
IMAX.
Yeah,
I
you
like
have
the
to
IMAX.
sit still.
Yeah, I think you naturally
What are
sit
you
still a bit.
doing? Like.
Well, like
I don't know, like
Shaking
I shift a bit.
you know?
I was just like kind of stretching my neck a bit, and I was like,
Yeah,
nope,
and
no,
then you'd
can't
be
do
like,
that.
whoa.
I
I
was
think it
getting a
didn't
little-
ruin the movie for me. I'm just saying.
I was
Oh, it
getting-
didn't ruin
no.
the movie.
Yeah.
I was getting a taste of the RLS.
We're
you
just
know,
saying
and
I
that
was
we kinda did
surprised
notice
because I loved.
I think
3D
Richard's
IMAX.
eyes could only
I
take
loved
so much.
3D
I think-
IMAX.
I think it makes it a lot clearer and
Yeah.
and
He's
better.
sick, he's
And
not
the
sad.
sound is
But-
much better. You have the sound is to me a lot clearer. The picture is like super solid clear. Like
That's awesome.
you know, to the point where I'm like, is this like fucking 4K TV quality shit here?
Oh, yeah, it was really
And,
good.
The
quality,
quality was
yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
I just had
And it
that
helps the
one
3D
problem.
to me because of that. Because if it's crystal clear, then the 3D is only going to be better. Because the reason you get ghosting and stuff is because you get motion blur and things like that to cause
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah, it was motion
So-
blur.
I mean, it makes.
the
Don't get me
size.
wrong. It makes sense. You got to keep your head like somewhat
Yeah.
straight just to watch a goddamn movie. You're not supposed to watch a movie like unless it's really bad. In which case, this isn't going to help it anyway. But
Okay. Anyways, that was not the reaction I was. I was like ready to talk about.
I think maybe
3D IMAX
because-
is awesome, and you guys are like, "Well, this was."
Oh, we're not
No,
saying it was
no,
bad.
we're
It was
saying
good.
It was good.
Yeah, we're just saying like you were saying
we
no
just
problems,
noticed that,
and that's
you know?
that's a problem we.
I
kinda
would definitely
had.
say go see this movie in 3D IMAX if you have the option. That's all.
If you do, I follow CNET on Twitter, and they were talking about it, so I'm like,
Well, there's a lot of
all
people
right.
who say to see it in 3D IMAX.
3D IMAX was interesting.
Yeah.
So-
I thought
Alright.
Captain Neo was better, where
Okay.
Michael Jackson had
Alright.
powers that turn people to backup dancers.
Okay.
That was rad.
Okay.
Awesome.
Go see it.
What the hell are we talking about anymore?
Captain
So,
Neo.
anyways,
Talking about 3D IMAX. I did that last time. Bless you.
so, anyways, so Pac Rim. Do we think this is
Whoa, we going
Pack
back room.
room.
Pac Rim?
All right.
Pacific Rim Pack.
Wow,
That's
well,
fine.
that was the thing that
It's,
you guys.
that sounds like Pac-Man's popped out of the
Oh my
fissure.
God.
Wow.
Anyways,
Really?
what did we think of the performances? Do we think that these were solid performances? Do we think that they were terrible in parts? Do we have problems with
Yeah.
any of them? I thought
I
they
think
were.
that they
I
were solid.
didn't have a problem with anyone's real
No.
performance.
Yeah, I thought it was solid.
Idris Elba was kind of like a firm, strong. Even like he
Yeah.
kind of said, like I got to be the, what does he say? Like the
one
that
focal
keep-
point.
Yeah,
Idris Elba's
keep
always
everyone
good.
together.
Idris Elba's always good. Even
Yeah,
when
he's
he
always
has
good.
to give cheesy speeches about canceling the apocalypse, he
Yeah.
still is
Yeah.
good. So,
That whole speech made me think of Independence Day.
well, it's
Yeah,
not nearly
well,
as good
yeah.
as the speech from Independence Day.
No, I know, but I'm
No.
just saying that speech, that moment made me
Yeah,
think
yeah,
of
I think that's
Independence
what they were
Day.
going
there
for.
were a
That's
few
what they're going for.
moments that you know,
Yeah,
reminded me
even
of
Charlie
Independence Day.
Day's character
Yeah,
reminded
when he
me
almost got eaten. Like
reminds me of Independence Day. A little bit of
annoying
Randy
guy.
Quaid or whatever
Yeah.
else, because you watch him and it's
Because
like
he was very slapstick running around. Well, not slapstick, but
you know, it's like this guy is very much going to be, could very well be a hero of this movie.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it was.
is the
I
vibe,
thought-
and,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, he helped. Yeah, helped at the end.
I thought the movie, it jumped around a lot. We had, different little storylines happening. We had a 5-year jump in time period. In telling us the backstory in the beginning, we have like
thought that
a
was-
5-year jump in
that
time
was-
also.
that was a pretty
There's a lot of
excellent,
jumping around and things. I think it's
yeah.
okay. I do still think, granted, I don't think it's too bad, but I do think, again, this movie's kind of a little long. It was like a 2.5 hour
was
long
a little
movie
long.
for a bit.
Oh,
and
you guys always feel that way.
yeah, and you never do because you have no
No.
life. But the thing is it's still a
Whoa.
little long.
Whoa.
You could have cut some things out. You could have done a little bit. I'm not saying that was super bad. This is not the worst victim of this is too long of a movie.
Oh,
This
absolutely
is-
not.
It's still fine. Like I didn't feel like I didn't feel like falling asleep or leaving.
No.
Like why am I watching this?
The
thing?
only
Like,
movie I thought was too
That was-
long so far is The Purge. That's about it.
which is funny because that's like one of the shorter movies
Could have been shorter.
we've seen.
And
That's
Yeah,
just because
it
it was
could've
bad.
not
But
happened
You
at all.
associate something being too long with being bad.
Yeah.
So if something is not bad, then you're
If-
like, oh, I had no problem with the length, and that's weird. To
If
me,
if
'cause-
I'm squirming, if I feel a need to look at the clock, then it's too long. And you guys got to tighten it up. Tighten the storyline up. You got to like kick more into action
Getting
or
towards,
interesting
getting towards the end, I
storyline.
want to look at a
or
watch. 'Cause I'm
dialogue
like, damn,
or
we've been sitting here a
something.
while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
but
But that doesn't
I felt
necessarily
like
mean
this
anything.
movie was a little long, but at the same time, I felt like this was one movie that we saw this summer that actually has a plot and a storyline.
Hmm.
Even if I thought it was a little generic at parts.
Oh, I thought the
But-
movie. Actually, when I originally saw the trailer and everything like that, I thought this movie was gonna be horribly generic.
Yeah.
I did not
I
want
didn't
to see this
really-
movie at all. I was like willing to pass it pretty much.
I was
I
kind of
wasn't
sold.
Yeah, I didn't really want to see this movie either.
I think I was the only one that really wanted to see this movie.
No,
I was,
Josh did, but he.
I was
couldn't be here.
sold as soon as I saw a boat being used as a bat. Like that was the moment where I was like,
yeah.
I now really want to see this.
I-
You know
I didn't
what?
see that in any of the trailers.
I
but
did.
when I
People
saw
tell
that
me
in
they
the
want to see
movie,
this movie.
that
Like,
was
how could you
thoroughly
not want to see this
entertaining.
movie? Cthulian beasts,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
exploding explosions,
I don't know if
battling
they were really that
robots, and I'm
Cthulhian,
like,
but-
well, that's the way I was told. Because the trailer really didn't reveal a lot of the backstory just as well. They covered that I thought excellently in the beginning of the whole
Yeah.
explanation.
I
of
think they
doing-
rushed through some like relationships and things in this movie to
Yeah,
try
a
to
little
make
bit.
it a little shorter and like kind of we
Well,
we
there
get,
you go. They
we
could've
get
put a lot
connections
more.
between characters that just kind of happen all of a sudden and it's like oh okay. And it's kinda,
I
that's
think the
kind of
drift kind of solved
I
some
thought-
of that problem.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well,
I was kind of speaking with that too.
The drift is a little weird in a lot of places.
With our hero's partner, I expected it to be the asshole cadet, be like, you're all washed up and whatever else. I was actually waiting for the two of them to become.
You mean the guy's son?
Yeah, the guy's son.
You-
I was waiting for them to
You
all of a
wanted
sudden.
a Maverick Iceman team up? Is
Like,
that what you
woman twin powers activate.
I was
sort of
kind
deal,
of
yeah.
expecting something like that because when they were having their little tough,
Honestly,
little
I
fight in the
kinda-
hall,
I kinda did.
I was kind of,
I
I was waiting for him to be like, all right, you two, you're
like you
fighting
two are
them."
partners now.
I
yeah.
didn't think.
And I thought that'd be so damn cheesy.
I was kind of waiting
I
for
think,
that to happen.
that kind of played out the way I thought it was gonna play out, so that wasn't a big thing to me.
I kind of
I
wondered.
liked.
I kind
how
of
it
wondered
played
what
out.
would happen after this movie, and I kind of thought I know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be like a buddy cop movie. Next one, they're gonna be like two partners inside robots, like you just patrol
Really?
on the coast.
Okay.
You know,
I want a Tyrion Braun mech.
That'd be awesome.
Anyways,
I liked how the
every time I
film-
talk buddy cop movies, we always talk about
He's got a
that.
big shield on his back and some daggers.
I thought the score was pretty damn good in this movie, and I don't know who did it. I don't
I
like
don't know.
normally if it's something really good, I'm like, oh, it's this guy. I don't know who
I
did the
thought
score
it
this
was really
time.
repetitive.
I don't
No,
know
no, no.
why, but
and I didn't like
I
it.
didn't find the score that noticeable until like the big effects action scenes, and it gave me this like it had this like throwback giant monsters attacking city like vibe to it, kind of the same way Cloverfield kind of did this, where it had like that sort of old school kind of Godzilla-ish kind of soundtrack score going. I liked it. I thought it fit excellently, and I thought it was really cool and added to those scenes. But that was my.
I don't know what it is, but I just never noticed the score ever. Like I don't know if I find it too like the score to be too subtle in a lot of these movies, or I'm just
like
not
I said,
really
this wasn't the
paying
most
attention, but-
noticeable score. Like it wasn't right in your face, but there were moments where I really liked
kept hearing
it.
this one part that they kept repeating over and over, which they would do maybe the theme song or whatever, and it was just getting
There
really
was a theme
annoying
song?
to me. It was
No,
like
I didn't get that.
da-da-da-da-da or whatever. and-
That's the beginning of Mario Brothers, yeah.
I was just saying, original music by him. It's
That's-
I'm
that's what
There
that's
was
what
this one
that's
part-
how the robot died.
Hey, hang on. I want to hear Richard try to pronounce this guy's name.
I'm probably gonna butcher this guy's name. I'm gonna go with Ramen Dajawadi.
Point it this way. Point it this way.
Raymond
Jawadi.
Javadi?
Point it.
Oh, is the D silent like Django?
Probably. Anyways.
Javadi.
Point it.
Maybe
We've
it's
gone
Javadi.
too.
Point it real
Gone
quick.
Too long.
It looks Polish.
Why are we wasting time on this guy?
But anyway.
Okay,
You
maybe
like
I
the
pronounce
score?
that.
I
You
was-
know what? Well,
Yeah, I didn't know you needed
I
to
thought
keep
that
going.
was one of the. It wasn't my favorite score. Like,
Oh, well, it
Like
wasn't my
I've
favorite
heard-
score, but I'm just saying I thought
I
it was
haven't
good.
even seen Man of Steel yet, but
I don't even
No,
know
it's
the
not as
score.
good as Man of Steel's score.
like
no.
gets
Is
stuck
that
in my
Hans
head.
Zimmer or something
yeah.
like that?
Yeah,
Hans Zimmer.
Which one crazy
yes.
about that?
No, we just always bring up Hans Zimmer because he has a lot of scores and he has a lot.
I just remember his name because it's very unique to me.
German.
Germans
It
are
is
unique,
Hans
German.
Zimmer.
So-
which is
Alright,
weird because they
um,
want to be like everybody else or something. I can't remember. Doesn't matter.
Okay. I think we can kind of try to wrap this up a little bit. Do we think this is an excellent movie? Where do we think this falls? Like, do we think this is one of the better movies to see? Do we think this is maybe excellent giant monster or giant robot movie? Like, what do we think about those kind of things?
Well, I came in.
What are we thinking? More of an overall opinion.
I came in the movie with low expectations,
Okay.
which is how I usually like to go in the movie. Low expectations, because that means
I think
that
we got
usually
that from these reviews by now.
they can only go up. Like if they go down, then. But
It's
that's a perk. But anyway, like
or G.I. Joe Retaliation.
I was really I actually had expectations for that.
That's why I said.
God damn it. Anyway, so pretty much, I thought it didn't sound a lot like Hell of an interesting, like giant robots fighting giant creatures. That was like this is a made for sci-fi
that's
TV.
enough for most people. But
That's a made for sci-fi movie, like sci-fi TV.
like
Sci-fi channel.
Sharknado.
Kind of like that. And
Direct to
I was
sci-fi.
kind of like why are people making such a big sin about this? And people have told me it's Guillermo del Toro directed it. Like, how could you not be interested? It's like I like Guillermo del Toro. Like he's made good things, but like I like some of J.J. Abrams' work, but I wasn't a fan of Super 8, even though that was big. So
He didn't do Super 8.
didn't he do Super 8? He produced it.
What?
Who directed it then? Who
J.J. Abrams did Super 8.
That's what I
I'm not
said.
a
J.J.
big
Abrams.
J.J.
Oh, I
No,
thought
I
you
was
said
saying-
Guillermo del Toro did
No,
Super 8.
I was saying
I was
J-
like,
I
what
I
are
was
you
using
talking
I was using an
about?
example. J.J. Abrams did Super 8. Wasn't a huge fan of Super 8, but I liked a lot of the other things that J.J. Abrams has done. So I could feel like this
You're
could
just
be
confusing me,
this could
so-
be Guillermo del Toro's bad movie to me, but it wasn't. I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't like fan-fucking-tastic, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Can't think of a lot of downsides of the movie. It kept my attention. And, good action scenes.
Richard, what did you think overall of the movie?
Overall, I thought it was a good movie or whatever else. Like I said, when I saw previews and all that stuff for it, I was a little leery. I wasn't probably planning on seeing it, but since I was off and we were able to go, so it's like, well, fuck it, let's do it. So I think it was worth it. Robot, like I said, to beat the dead horse of, robots.
Giant robots. Doing combat.
Fighting monsters to save.
It was just so well done.
To save the world,
man.
Visually it looked beautiful with the format we saw it in. It's one of them save the world movies.
Yeah.
Always something you need to have during your summer movies.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing you bring up because really, I saw an article I think like about this, but also I kind of felt it after this movie was over. This is kind of the biggest example of your typical summer blockbuster that we've had this summer.
Let's save the world.
Yeah.
Like what this movie is, it's loud, it's bombastic, it's in your face, it's basic. There isn't like a whole depth issue going on with it. Like this is just fun, loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, like kicking your ass. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like spectacle. It's a giant spectacle.
It was. There were definitely times I felt my ass.
Your eyes wanted to be locked on the screen. You never really.
And sometimes it was hard to focus because there was just so.
Yeah.
For me, there's so much shit going on. Maybe it's
Yeah, I didn't get that problem.
Tired.
Okay.
But there was times it just seemed like there was a lot of shit going on. It's like whoa.
Honestly, they did so well with this whole giant robot piloting thing that I kind of like to see a Neon Genesis Evangelion movie. That would be pretty.
Ooh, that's opening a can of worms there. But
just saying.
Well, because there's a lot of stuff with the ending.
It had the ending.
And that's a long story to do.
But I just mean the characters and the father being a huge dick and being the leader of the whole army. I thought that would be an interesting thing.
Neon Genesis Evangelion purists are going to be like, you could never make that into a movie. But anyway,
that's just people bitching. Anyway. I just wanted to throw that
whatever. So, alright, so Kristen, what did you think overall of the movie?
I had no expectations. I was like,
I don't really
want to go see this movie.
You just knew robots.
Yeah, all I knew, my little quote was that it was real steel with dinosaurs, but without Hugh Jackman. That's Wolverine, but can't wait. But anyway.
Oh, wow.
You know what, hey, it was my little joke.
No, I mean, I just thought like of dinosaurs versus robots sort of like mashup. Like, just sound really awesome to me.
That'll be a movie someone will make at some point.
Like Cowboys versus Aliens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right.
But you know what? I ended up actually really liking this movie. I think it's actually one of my favorites from the summer because it felt like the first summer movie that we've seen, like a summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
It had a story and it was easy to follow, and I thought it was going to be just a guy movie, and then they brought in the strong female character and the love story and the father-son relationship and, just things you can relate to and things that kept your attention.
Brother to brother.
Yeah, brother to brother. And
son to father.
All right.
She covered that already.
Nice wartime moments, with the wartime speeches and, people going back to work and little homages to World War II, working in camps and, like, gypsy, whatever it was. They had the bomber jackets.
Gypsy danger.
And I think you can really tell that they put their heart and soul into this film, and I really liked it. I was surprised, but I actually did really like it, and I think it was well done. Do I think it's the best movie ever? Maybe not, but I
summer.
I liked it a lot, but I had no expectations, and it really exceeded them. So
honestly, like what you said about the whole romantic thing, I'm really glad they didn't really push that too much.
Yeah,
too much.
I'm glad it wasn't just
that always like sometimes ruins a movie. Sometimes because they push it a little bit too hard.
Yeah, and I felt like this was really tastefully done.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. All right, so my kind of overall opinions in here. I think while this movie is kind of predictable, kind of goes places that you think it'll go, maybe at the end doesn't take as many risks as maybe I kind of would have liked, I guess. But in the end, yeah, some things
I know what you're talking about.
Some things happen at the end where I was like, that'd be really cool if this happened. But this is the dark side of me that I always think in movies when they dangle life and death in front of me. There's a part of me that always wants to just see the death because it's so contradictory
the
to
sacrifice
typical,
means
to typical,
more.
to typical storylines and stuff. I always want to see the death.
The
It's just me.
more non-American films,
Well, I don't know. I think it's more of a.
Well, I mean,
I respect movies that are willing to take that gamble or that risk or anything. It made me a movie that isn't going to make me think, oh, they did this for a sequel. Like those thoughts, you don't get that when you have the meaningful death to me at the end. And not that this movie doesn't have any meaningful deaths. I'm not saying that, but I'm trying not to spoil anything. So if anything sounds weird or cryptic about this,
people die in this.
Don't think it too hardly. And if so, you've probably seen this movie already. Don't worry about it.
But anyways, I think This movie seemed kind of small for being a big movie. It was supposed to be this worldwide thing. To me, it seemed like a very small, filmed in front of a green screen movie in parts where it's not just robots fighting. But aside from that, the robots monster fighting stuff is so well done, so great looking and creative and entertaining and has so much awesome shit going on. It kind of blows all that shit out of my mind.
Just the 3D was amazing. Like the one time he was talking. 3D, and this was talking to dude and he had the bloody nose. He was sitting there by the sink, and you look out the window, and you can still see more stuff outside the window.
Interesting fact about this movie. Interesting fact about this movie that I've heard. This was not shot in 3D. This was post-converted into 3D, which is incredibly amazing
that's
to me.
surprising.
Wow.
This is probably the best post-conversion I've ever seen of a movie.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like, I don't know who did this one, but these people should get everyone's work for post-3D.
The actor.
It is.
Yeah, like, it's really good 3D. But like I said, the action sequences and what you went there for, and the fact that this is just a big, bombastic summer blockbuster, and it's super fun, all those kind of things blow away all those little gripes.
They showed robots being less clunky and like slow moving. I mean,
I like these robots
caught themselves and they roll.
This movie was done by ILM. I saw in the credits also like Transformers, and Transformers is robots fighting, but these robots were cleaner. They weren't as busy. They were easier to follow. They were more standard robot designs, yet still being different enough and all that kind of things. It was just a much more well thought out, I thought, execution of doing robots fighting than we've had with Transformers movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think overall, just how much fun you're having and the immense enjoyment you're having watching these robots and monsters fight. It takes you back to being a kid again. Like, there's all these things that all my little minor gripes I have with this movie kind of don't matter. Like the little things I have about predictability and maybe some of the things are rushed yet it's a little long and things like that. Really, none of that matters because in those moments when those action sequences are happening, I'm not thinking about those at all, and I'm just completely caught up in the spectacle I'm watching. So I think overall we kind of feel like this is kind of the prime example of a summer blockbuster this summer, at least that we've seen so far, and I think it will end up being, this is pretty much, if you want a summer blockbuster, if you want something that you don't have to think too much about, but you can see some badass shit in, this is kind of an excellent choice.
I don't even think this was on the radar when we did
No,
not really.
The summer movies.
Not sure if
our top 10s?
Yeah.
Maybe yours.
It's a dark horse for me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I toyed with putting it at number 10.
I don't think it was even on my radar.
So, but anyways, I think we all enjoyed it a lot. And
I thought they could have whipped out the swords sooner.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought they could have whipped out some CPR at the end, but that's a whole.
Yeah, I kind of thought that
I was
too.
like, what
but that
the?
was...
He doesn't breathe through his penis.
Well, okay, that was just wrong. Anyways,
Cut.
I don't know why that was in there. Anyways, we all enjoyed it, and we think it is an excellent use of your time this summer to resist boredom.
True.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Stupid!
So guys, what do you call it when a giant robot licks the asshole of a giant monster?
I have no
I don't
idea.
know.
What?
What?
Pacific Rim job.
Ho ho.
Oh.
Yeah!
Why not?
So weird. So fucking weird. And And every time I say so fucking weird, I always end up adding that in the Easter egg. Fucking weird. Alright, anyways. But
Dun.
anyways.
Da-na-na. Da-na-na-na.
Were you just doing the Velt theme?
I don't know. What's the belt thing?
You don't even play. You already played Final Fantasy VI.
No, but you and Josh did enough time to get in my head. Enough practices at Rock Rococo's. That
This is
shit
the
gets in your
Velt
head.
theme, man.
I thought it was like some sort of cave.
You
mine.
didn't even know what you were doing. Do it again.
Dun. Da-na-na. Da-na-na.
You don't have the drum beat right.
I don't
You
get the
do have
drum
the
beat right,
you
yeah.
do the melody right though. That's right. It sounds
See,
like
I didn't.
it sounds like
every.
every Hispanic hip hop song you've ever heard.
I never-
That's the drum beat.
I never even
okay?
played the game. You just got in my head.